right. Well, we are about 4:03, so I think we're going to go ahead and get started. If folks join us, that's wonderful. We'll catch them up. But welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We are so excited to launch the info session for our second cohort of the Scale to Excel program. And so we're going to tell you a little bit about it today. We're also going to give you the opportunity to ask us questions. You're going to meet some of us. So let me share my screen, bring up our presentation. So Accelerate Greensboro is the Greensboro Chamber of Commerce's Minority Business Accelerator Program. This is a program that kicked off back in 2017. The Chamber had about 100 business leaders who went on a trip to Chattanooga and actually saw the program that they had there and came back and really spent about another year preparing to launch a minority business accelerator in Guilford County. And the intention of that was really to really drive support and programs and opportunity for minority business entrepreneurs inside of Guilford County. Since that program began, we have generated a little over $8 million in new revenue for businesses that are in that program. So last year, or actually in 2020, we started having some conversation about Accelerate and the fact that we were about 3 years into the program and we felt like it was time to really evolve that and add to it. And what we really felt like was missing was the opportunity for some really in-depth education and programming. And so we decided to launch a partnership and enter into a partnership with Interise. And you're going to hear a little bit more about Interise today. But really had a lot of conversations with the folks there about the program that they run, and you're going to hear about that program today. And we decided to partner and launched last year Scale to Excel. And so our first cohort, they graduated not too long ago, September, October timeframe, and you're going to hear a little bit about those folks and about their process. But we just wanted to share with you where we are in the process, tell you a little bit about it. So again, the goal of Accelerate Greensboro, it is here to foster the growth of local, ethnic, minority-owned businesses and to expand the region's minority entrepreneurial community. Our model really focuses on networking. It focuses on technical assistance opportunities, business development, and then I shared some of those metrics. So a lot of what happens in Accelerate Greensboro is strategic connections for businesses to meet corporations that are looking to work together with them and to partner. Scale to Excel is a 7-month program. We will begin in February. It is 2 3-hour sessions per month. The value of the program is $15,000. So that is how much the value of that program is. We ask the participants in the program to put forth $199 just as a commitment to that program. And we do have scholarships available. So if that is a barrier, absolutely let me know. Let us know. So I am actually going to turn it over at this point to Holden Pierre, our partner at Interise. He's going to tell you a little bit more about the history and the background at Interise. Holden, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, Tracy. And thank you, everybody, for joining the call today. I'm so happy that you all took the time to be here. Before I start, I do want to say it's been an honor and a pleasure to work with the Greensboro Chamber of Commerce and also Chanel, Dr. Chanel, who is the instructor for this class. And so last year when they had their first cohort, just working with them and just the amount of intentionality that they have and just the way that even while we were onboarding them, the whole department, even with the CEO, wanted to be trained to make sure that they knew what they were signing up for and that they were delivering the best program. And so I know a lot of you guys are here today because of some of the impact that you've already heard from some of the businesses who took the class last year. And so we are excited to be here and to continue to partner with them just to continue to see your success and also the success of just the community as a whole. And so about Interise. And so Interise, we've been around since 2004. And so our tagline is inclusive economy starts here. And so our mission is to build an inclusive economy through growth of established small businesses that are located in low and moderate income communities or minority owned. And so in other words, our main mission and focus is to really just bring businesses that have not been at the table to the table to make sure that they have the resources they need to succeed and also be able to scale.
All right, bear with me for a second.
Technology.
Holden, I'm making it challenging for you. Do it without any photos. Just
okay. I can do it. I can do it. And so while we get the technology figured out, I'll continue. And so as I mentioned, we've been around since 2004. And one of the good things about Interise is that even during the Great Recession, we have been around and we have seen a lot of success with our program. And so right now we have graduated close to 9,000 businesses within our network. And one of the reasons why the program has scaled is because even during the Great Recession that happened in 2008 and 2009, businesses that took the program scaled and was able to create jobs at 2 to 3 times the rate of the private sector, which gave the government the confidence to even license Interise curriculum to be the curriculum provider for the SBA. And we have been the curriculum provider for the SBA for over 16 years. And that's with at least 4 different administration and different parties, and all of them saw the value of the program. And even during this time, we have been able to impact a lot of businesses. And so when we get the data up, you guys will see some of the impact that we've been able to have. But even throughout the years that we've been around, the businesses that have taken the curriculum have grown at a 10 times the rate of the private sector. And one of the things that we are extremely proud of is that the World Bank has, the World Bank has recognized Interise as one of the business programs for second stage businesses. And so what we classify second stage businesses are businesses that are past the startup phase and may be stuck. And so we realize that some businesses start because out of necessity, or you had a passion and you wanted to create something out of it, but while you were trying to create, you kind of hit a roadblock. And what we have come and created is something that can help you kind of solve and recognize the issue and also address the issue so that you can then bridge to the next level. And later on, you hear some testimony from other people who have seen the value and the impact of the program as well. And so we are very focused on capacity building. And so providing you with the information you need to be able to grow. And so we don't just want you to get funding, but we want to make sure that you are able to take the time to assess your business, to create the structures necessary so that when the funding that you may be seeking or whatever growth opportunity you're seeking you are ready for these opportunities so that you can grow and you can sustain it. Because we don't want you to just grow and then next thing you know, life happened, but we want you to be able to grow and sustain. And if at some point you choose to adjust with your business, that is your choice, and you still have the resources to make sure that if you decide to maybe sell your business or do something, you have the resources you need to make that wise and you're not being taken advantage of. And so, can you go back one slide? Thank you. And so the way that we look at this is that this is not like a webinar, but we have set up the class to be bi-weekly because we want you to have the time to attend the class and then have between the classes have time to try to apply it within your business, whether you succeed or not, and then come back and discuss it whether with the class or with the CEO groups that you have and then your instructor. And then be able to learn from that, learn from your mistake, learn from what people are doing, and then go back again to try to apply it. And also for you to recognize different things, because what we really desire is that you will be able to shift your behavior, because we realize that some of the things that's holding us back, even in our own personal life, is some behaviors. And while you are in this class and taking the time to work on your business, you'll recognize some behaviors that may be holding you back. And as you work on addressing it and also work on addressing some of the system things in your business, it's also going to help you grow as well. I'm really excited about this quote. I don't know this alumni personally, but this story is something I've heard personally from other alumni. I'll read it real quick. This program changed my life. I would not be where I am today without the material in the course and the brilliance of my instructor. He essentially flunked my first growth plan and challenged me to keep working. And now we're launching a second manufacturing location. I am forever grateful for what this program opened up for me. And so, as I mentioned, I don't know this person personally, but I've heard this story even from an alumni in New York, where her instructor, even though she went to a big name school, her instructor, she kind of lacked some confidence within her own self. And so when she gave her instructor her first growth plan, her instructor was like, nope, this is not enough. If you want to be able to finish, I'm challenging you to really work harder. And so for the first time, she was challenged to dream bigger, even though it was a scary act for her. But as she did it, one thing that she noticed, her as an individual, she was able to develop and grow. And because of that, she, even during the COVID crisis, she was able to be more confident in herself as a CEO to make certain decisions, because there were times she was making certain decisions that she just wasn't confident enough. Was I making the right decision or not? Can I really lead this or not? But because of the challenges from her instructor, the community that she had, she was able to weather the storm. And even now, her business is still flourishing. Okay, so this is the part that I know a lot of you guys are here for. And this is kind of like the details of the program. Chanel, I know you're the instructor and I did not prep you for this, but throughout this, feel free to jump in because I know you're passionate about this. But I'll give a quick overview, and if Chanel wants to jump in, she can. And so the way that this program is set up is we have 4 different modules and a few different components that I'll go over. But at the end of it, what you all are going to leave with is a 3-year strategic action plan. And that action plan is supposed to be kind of like the roadmap that guides you moving forward and to reach whatever goal you have. And so while I'm talking about that, I think it would be great if you guys could just write the name of your business and any specific goals that you may have, just so that we can have a sense of some of it and we can maybe have a quick conversation if possible. And so the first module is the business strategy and leadership. And so this module is really a time for you to pause and really assess yourself as a business leader, to figure out, what are your own personal goals, what are some of the goals for the business, and assess your leadership style. And I think one of the things that I love about this module is that it gives people a chance to even connect themselves and their business together, because sometimes the goals are not connected, but at the end of the day, it's the same person that's leading both. And it's really a good time for you to really just assess everything. And so I really like this module. And then the second module, which I would say is a really intense one, is the financial module, because we know that sometimes some of you guys may have been in business for a couple of years or more, but you may not always be confident about your finances. And so during this module, we really break it down for you to be able to at least understand the basics, so that whether you have a CPA, you have a CFO that's managing your numbers, you can still have the right conversation with them to make sure that you are not being taken advantage of, and you know how to prepare for whatever opportunity that you are going after. And so there's a lot of different things that we do in this module. And the good thing is that during this module, you have the support that you need, whether it be some guest expert that's going to come to support, or even your instructor. I can attest to you that Dr. Chanel, she is amazing. She will take the time to really work with you and guide you through whatever process that you are at. And so if you do sign up for this program, one thing I will challenge you is not to be afraid to acknowledge where you may be weak at, because as we recognize your weakness, we can help you with it. And that's why within this class, one of the most important thing that we try to cultivate, and I think Tracy, the Greensboro Chamber of Commerce, and also Dr. Chanel, they've done an amazing job of this, is create a safe atmosphere for you to be transparent. And that's one thing we aim to protect at the best we can. And then module 3 is the sales and marketing module. And so I know a lot of people are excited about that one. And I am too, but the reason why we have said it this way is that as you start working on your goals and understanding who you are, understanding your business and how you may want to structure it, then you look at the numbers and see the reality of different things. It will better prepare you to start dreaming, because sales and marketing is when you start dreaming. So that you have the numbers to really make those right moves. During this module, one of the activities that we have is that you will be calling one of the customers that you may have lost, for you to have some intense conversation just to learn from that mistake. And one thing we have seen over the time is that there's some people, as they have those conversations, that they are able to win back some of these customers, because some of these customers are shocked that most people don't call them back to even understand and maybe learn from that. And so this is one of the activities that we have, and there's many others that we have during this module for you to learn and be able to grow your business. And then the last module is the resource, talent, finance, and contracting. So in other words, it's really just you putting it all together, because you've set the goals, you've established some of the financial metrics, you've set the marketing and sales goals, but like, how do you do it? How do you get the contract? How do you get the people? How do you get the different things that you need to grow your business? And so this is a really interesting module. And one thing that is done in this class is there's different guest expert that comes in to kind of even talk about some of the contracting systems and the processes, so that way you can be able to get increase your chance of getting some of the contract that you are going after. I know I may be talking a little fast, so I'm going to pause here to see if Chanel wants to add anything else. And I know later on we'll be opening it up for a Q&A.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Good. I think you can hear me okay. All right. So I'm glad that you're here. You always want to see ways in which your business can grow. And what I know, I've been teaching entrepreneurship for 20 some years now. And what I know is that businesses grow from two different perspectives. One is maybe a corporate perspective, and one is a small business perspective. And one has its advantages over the other. What you have the advantage of as a small company is because you can innovate very fast and move and make decisions very fast. But corporations become corporations because they put the checks and balances and plans in place to allow their businesses to grow. In this program, you're going to do a growth plan, and you're going to be able to take your small business, right, and put around it the infrastructure so that it can grow wherever you want it to grow. Whether you want it to be a big corporation one day, whether you want your business to have longevity, however you want it to grow, that's what this program is about. That's the nutshell of what it is. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take these 4 areas and you're going to make sure that you have the plan that you think you have in practice. What do I mean by that? How many of you feel like you spend more time working in your business instead of on your business? Meaning you're tired because you're doing everything. You're doing the marketing, you're doing the accounting, you are doing the HR, you're doing all of that. You got to sell your product. You're doing all of that, so much so that you don't have time to step back and even think about planning for your future. It's hard for entrepreneurs to do that because you feel like you're not making money if you're sitting back planning. This is your opportunity and time to sit back and plan. And if you do that, you will find that you really have something that you can rely on to guide decisions. Good business decisions are made because plans have controls in them. They have things that you're going to meet, goals, objectives, rules. This plan is about deciding where you're going to go and putting the rules in practice so that you can make sure that you meet that. And that is where, when I look at entrepreneurs overall, that's where I see a failure, right? I see them working hard, but I don't see them planning just as hard. And so I think this is a great environment. I will say that, again, as Holden said, we create an environment where you can feel safe. So when you're talking about your finances, for example, nobody's going to judge you about your finances. We want you to use the information as a tool. And so we give you the space to do that. You might look at, for example, the last time we did this, a lot of the companies looked at things like hiring and personnel HR issues. And they got to talk about, I'm really having trouble finding a good talent pool for my business. How will I do that? Those kinds of issues. So this is an opportunity to really get down in, make a plan, and then put in the controls so that your plan is useful for you. Some people have a business plan. If we were to say, raise your hand, do y'all have a business plan? Some of you will say, no, I don't even have a business plan. Some of you will say, I had a business plan and I used it when I was going out to get funded, but I haven't seen it in a long time. And some will say, well, I've got a business plan, but it's not where I want it to be, right? So what we're going to do, I think what I do in this program is teach you how to use what you're creating. And I think the modules from the Interise program allows you to see where you really need to be putting the pieces together so that you have this growth plan at the end. And I think that if I look at the group that we had last year, when I talk to them, they talk in a different language than they did before they got here. They talk about, well, you know, when we talked about the financial management piece and what I needed to do there and connecting that to procurement and who I needed to talk to about getting myself ready to get government contracts, this is what I'm able to do now. And so that is powerful. And again, that's something that a lot of small businesses don't really have. And then the ability to do business with each other, right? So one is kind of, how do you do business in a larger sense? But I found that a lot of our entrepreneurs from last time, they are working together. So we've got, one particular entrepreneur that talked to me last week said, I contacted so-and-so and they helped me with my HR issue that I brought up in class, and I've been able to further my business from that. So again, it's about a network, creating a plan and creating the support you need to grow your venture and grow your business. And so I'm excited about it. I get overly excited about the opportunity to make strong businesses. And I think this is the key to it. So.
Thank you, Chanel. And I hope you guys see how amazing Chanel is and the passion that's coming out as she speaks about these things. As we look at the program component, one thing that, can you go back one? Thank you. One thing that Dr. Chanel just mentioned is the CEO group. And so we know that sometimes as entrepreneurs, it can be a lonely route because the weight on your shoulder is not something that you can easily share with your spouse unless they're in business with you or even some of your friends. And so in this, you have a CEO group of different businesses within the class that you can go and have some of these intense conversations with, and together you guys can be able to troubleshoot some of these issues that you're having. I know Dr. Chanel just mentioned somebody had some HR issue and somebody had an HR business. And so it was like, okay, let's talk about this. And even if somebody's in a different sector, the one thing we've seen is that it's still the same issue. You guys might just be approaching it differently, and maybe the way that they're approaching it might actually work in your business, but you didn't think about it. And so even for me as a married person, sometimes I realize it's best to talk to my wife because it teaches me to think outside the box. But the other thing that I've said a lot is guest expert. We realize, so throughout the class, Dr. Chanel will be at every class facilitating the conversation because we realize that you yourself as an entrepreneur, you have a lot of knowledge. And so we want to make sure that the class is hearing from you. And so Dr. Chanel's role is to really just facilitate the whole class, learning between the class. But also we realized that there's other fields where we want to make sure we have experts come in to kind of break the different topics down. And so this is why we have guest experts that come in throughout the class at different levels, at different time. And then I know Dr. Chanel mentioned this, but we have life cases because this program is really about you. You are taking the time to study your business. We are not studying Google, but you are examining your business to figure out what is working, what is not working, and how do we address what's not working to grow your business. And so we have at least 9 to 10 moments throughout the class where different people can sign up to do live cases where you present your business, and while you present it, different people in the class will be able to give you feedback. So that way, if there is a hard issue that you're dealing with, you can address it today and be able to move forward. It's this time where while you presenting your business, there'll be guest expert who can help you. And at some point, if you feel like you like their advice and you really want to work with them, you can decide to work with them outside the class as well. The other thing that we have that's connected in the class to help you is practical session prep. We call it session prep instead of homework because we realize that you already have knowledge, but we want you to have some other tools that you are reading so that as you read them, you become more equipped to have richer conversation with the class. And we really want to make sure that you guys do these session preps because what we truly believe is that if you don't do it, what you're really doing is you cheating yourself, but you're also cheating the class, because if you bring your knowledge and do the reading, there's so much great ideas that you could bring to the class that can help you, someone else in the class, and also help yourself in the class as Dr. Chanel open these things up. And so we really encourage everybody who takes the program to do the session prep so that they can get all that they can get out of this program. So I've talked about the program, and so here's some of the impact. I mentioned that we have been around since 2004, so over 18 years now. And almost every year, what we do is we do what we call an annual assessment, and this is a chance for us to hear back from on the alumni. And once you graduate, we track your performance for the next 3 years just to see, okay, how are you doing? And the reason why we do that is to make sure that we have seen how this program is working, first of all, but also to equip the Greensboro Chamber of Commerce on how they can better support you move into class. And so one thing I say is once you join this program, you are not alone. You have joined a family, the Greensboro Chamber of Commerce family, and also Interise family of over 10,000 businesses. And so we are here to support you any way we can. And so what you're looking at now is data that we've collected from over 2,000 businesses. And right here, you could see that 40% of the alumni businesses operated in alumni communities. And this was some of the numbers that they secured in terms of contract. One thing I really love because of just my mission, personal mission, is just that there's 77% revenue growth for minority-owned businesses, and 78% of them reported being profitable. And also throughout all the businesses that's taken this program, 97% of them recommend the program. It's something that we're truly proud of. And as I mentioned before, is we do a lot of data to make sure that this program is working for you, from session evaluation, midway surveys, final feedback survey, because you are the end receiver. And we want to make sure that what we promise you is what you're receiving, that you are receiving the learning objectives, that you are receiving the education that you need to grow your business, and also the support as well. And one thing I can promise you is that Dr. Chanel and the Greensboro team will provide whatever extra support you need. And it's something I've seen, and it's something that I was blown away by. And so if you were looking for any type of support, you'll get this from them in this program. This guy, Larry, I really appreciate him. I've been at Interise for about 5 years, and he was one of the first participants who called me and interviewed me just to make sure that he could trust the program. And as I mentioned, we really do everything we can to create a safe environment. And so for him, if that's what he felt like he needed to do to trust the program, I was like, I'll answer all your questions. And Larry is amazing because he brought all of himself and he submitted to the process. Even though, as you can see, he has all these education, he saw the value of the program and submitted through the process and was able to continue to grow beyond his own wildest dream. And I know it's still the beginning because he graduated last year. And so I think Larry is a testament of what can happen in your business if you submit to the process and you're willing to do the work. Like you can reach some of the success that he has, and you can see the value that he got from this program as well as he compares it to these other degrees that he got from these big schools.
And hold it, let me just say just about Larry. One of the things I think, and you kind of pointed to it before, but one of the things that Larry was good at is that even though he's had a lot of success and still a lot of success even since this program, he came in to kind of massage and use everything we had to offer. One person made the comment about the program, it's like therapy for your business, right? So you've been to workshops where you kind of attended and you were, there kind of physically, but you weren't there mentally. This is a space where you really want to come and mentally engage. And for the time that we're together, put all you can into understanding how your business interfaces with what you're learning in the course, because that's where the magic, the Interise magic happens. So I think and we're going to get Larry to come on to the class and talk with you about how he was able to do that. But I really think businesses need that, the program, like they said, the program cost, I think more than what Tracy said. The value of the curriculum, the value of my time, the value, each one of my students, between them and I teach at the University of North Carolina, Greensboro. If you look at what they actually pay for tuition when they come and take my class, you're getting that level of things poured into you, right? So plus your time is of value. Mm-hmm. So what we try to encourage you to do is to really engage so that you can use this for the advancement of your business. You probably won't get time like this ever again in your lifetime. I really believe that. So what we try to do is really get you to engage. If you need to meet at 10 o'clock at night to think about or talk about some component of your plan, I will do that because I'm excited about and love entrepreneurs, and I want particularly minority entrepreneurs, I want you to be in our community. So it's worth that for me. And so what we know, and Larry is a good example of that, it's what we have to offer, but it's also your attention to it that makes the best outcome. So.
As I mentioned earlier, part of the success of Interise, even from the beginning, was just our performance during the Great Recession. And so you can read a little bit more detail on that on the left. But one thing that we've also saw is even during the COVID time, a lot of the business owners that took this program, they were able to sustain their business. Like, yes, some people have gone through some hard time. But one thing that we've seen is that those who have taken the program, they had the tools necessary to be able to navigate this time. Part of it is understanding what to focus on during this time and knowing, how to think outside the box as well. And there's different things that Interise has done to provide that extra support. But these are some of the fundamentals that you will learn from this program that will make your business more resilient. And so I know that we are still technically in COVID space. We don't know when COVID is going to end as much as we wanted to end yesterday. But one thing we can promise is that these fundamentals you will get from the program. And so I'll read some of them and you guys can look at this right now. And so one of them is that you will get regular use of your financial data and analysis. And that's a very big one because I remember working with a business in Indiana They were right before COVID, they were getting ready to actually sign a big contract to expand their business, but unfortunately due to COVID, they weren't able to. And it was a husband and wife team. And one thing that the husband didn't want to focus on the numbers because he was just chasing after new business. But one thing he learned in this program that he didn't learn from listening to his wife was just the importance of managing and focusing on the numbers. And them realizing that and focus on that kept their business afloat, because he learned that if I can save $100 from all these different deals, or try to work with the different people to try to get paid faster and maybe pay some bills a little bit later, it allowed them to be able to manage their cash flow. And it kept them afloat until they were able to get back into doing some more direct business, because they had a parking lot business. And so, due to COVID, there wasn't much they could do until things kind of opened up. And so that's one of the tools that we've seen help this business, but also many other businesses as well. Confidence in retaining existing customers from that exercise that we do during the sales and marketing. And many other activities, it's going to give you a confidence in understanding what your customers need, but also what customer to focus on. Because right now you might be focusing on almost any type of sale, but you start learning, okay, who should I really focus on, and which customer will give me the best ROI, return on investment. And another one that I'll list is just knowing how to make an effective case for additional funding. And so from all the different resources that you're gonna have access to in this program, it's gonna teach you how to really present yourself to get all the extra funding that you may need from your program as well. So I'll pass it back to Tracy so that she can talk more about the program eligibility.
Sure. And well, yeah, let me go ahead and do that. Dr. Chanel, we do have Lisa on. So you guys are going to have a treat today. So I will run through this eligibility information. I'll tell you a little bit about what's next in the process, but you guys are going to get to hear from one of our graduates of our first session. So we're excited about that. So as far as eligibility goes, it is open to ethnic minority-owned businesses. We look for 175,000 to 10 million in annual revenues. It's important that the businesses participating in the program are at that second stage in their growth and can have that kind of conversation. We ask that you have one other full-time employee besides the owner. The participant must be the CEO or be a 51% owner. You must have been in business for at least 3 years, and then you have to have a willingness and ability to attend class for the 7 months, complete the assignments, and complete the program surveys as requested. So not a lot to ask for the amount of value that comes out of it, but we do want to make sure that we have those eligibility measures in place so that it's a productive class and you get the most out of it possible. The next steps, we ask that you fill out the application by January the 22nd, by 5 o'clock on the 22nd. We hope to do interviews the week of the 24th, that next week, and hope to have selections done by the end of the month. So we're moving very fast, but we want to do that so that we can start sessions in February. And I think we're looking around February 9th as our kickoff date on that first session. So moving pretty quickly. Definitely make sure that you go out to the link and that you get the applications in. I had a couple of people message me in the chat about scholarships. As far as that goes, you just need to reach out and let me know. And that's something we can also talk about through the interview process. Don't let that slow you down. We have plenty of folks who are excited to subsidize participation in the program. So with that, I'm going to leave this screen up here, but I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Chanel to make any other comments that you want to make, but also to talk to Lisa about her experience in the program.
Yeah, so I want to just first go, Lisa, if you will turn on your camera for me. Let's see, where's Lisa?
Here, I may have to do this so we can get, there she is.
There she is. Let me tell you what, this young lady is more than a breath of fresh air. She is one of the people that I enjoy. I enjoyed everybody in the program, but when I look at how when she came, first, she's phenomenal. She's gonna introduce who she is. She's phenomenal anyway, just being a woman minority business doing what she does. That is overwhelming to me, right? But she has just the heart of gold. She loves her business. And when I talk about that attitude of fully engaging in this process, she did that. And I think she had very good outcome at the end. And she's one of my shining stars. I'll take her anywhere because I just love the way that she was willing to learn about her business. So Lisa, first, thank you for coming. Please tell them about your venture. Tell them about why you decided to do this program, and then how did you benefit from doing Scale to Excel?
Well, I'll start by saying thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you having me speak, Miss Chanel. I'm Dr. Chanel. I'm super excited. I'm always excited when I get to speak to other individuals, business owners. It has certainly been a journey for me. I've been in business for approximately 6 years. I am a licensed general contractor. I'm a mason by trade. So I bid mostly masonry work. I've done several things since the program, which I'm continuing to do. But when I got into the program, I was a bit concerned. Because I was accustomed to working in my business. And my biggest problem was understanding how to actually operate my business the right way. Meaning the big thing for me was I didn't understand financials. And I know in order for me to get to where I need to be within the company, my industry to grow the business, I have to understand my financials. There were nights where Dr. Chanel sat up with me. Oh my gosh, I think we could have had pajama parties actually over the phone, sitting there helping me through it. And there was not a moment that I didn't believe that I can actually scale or start that process of scaling my company. One of the there was so many things that was great. Everything is great about the program. Let me just say that first. But one of my absolute favorite was the CEO group. This is a group where you have several other peers in the industry. It may not be in the construction industry like I am. It may be in a different industry, but business owners. And we would all get together. And I believe we were supposed to be set up every other session to meet, but our group was just so awesome that we would do our Zoom like every week. We'd get together and we'd all help each other. One of my issues was I was doing everything myself. I was doing my estimate and my this, and it took one of the other CEOs in our group to say, well, hey, Lisa, have you tried just maybe outsourcing just the estimating? And it was like a aha moment for me at that point. I said, well, why didn't I think about that? I mean, it was simple things like that. The course really put me on the path of learning and understanding how to operate a business. When we all, well, I'll just speak for me. When I started a business, I started it to make some money. And I continued that for quite some time, not realizing that, hey, I need to start operating the business as a business. Now, one of the things that I did do when I started out was I started to get mentors. And I wanted mentors all around me. I happen to be one of the proteges for Summit. I do quite a bit of projects with Summit. They took me under their wing as a protege. So I've learned to go out there and do pre-construction, do construction, do close out of a project. And I'm very grateful for that. But there was still missing parts of the business aspect of it, the financial things. Through this program, I was able to understand cash flow, which was very important. I couldn't really take a report in a cash flow report and know what it said. I didn't understand that. Overhead, profit margins, these things. I mean, it may sound simple, like, oh, I know this, I know that. I didn't know it. And through this Interise program, it helped me to understand all these things. It even made me see that, hey, I had a CPA, I had a lawyer, I had the things that were needed, but I was able to realize the CPA that I had was not a good fit for me. So I had to change that and get a new CPA. I realized, hey, I needed a bookkeeper. And all of these things I was able to realize through this program. At first, when I signed up for the program, I said, oh my gosh, 7 months, that's a long time to sit, to stay in a class. But before you know it, the 7 months came and I didn't want it to end. I kept saying, oh my goodness, we only have a few more weeks. We only have a few more weeks. But it was well worth, I mean, it's worth its weight in gold. I'm very grateful. I'm thankful. And it has helped me to start to scale my business. So I was able to take on a bookkeeper, take on a new CPA, another employee. So it has really started me on that right track. I'm not there yet. I haven't arrived. I still have ways, but they really put me on that path to understanding now how to work on your business and not in your business. So I hope I haven't taken up all that time, but I really appreciate you having me here.
You know what? Thank you so much, Lisa. And you have arrived. People like you never think you have arrived. You have to be a woman and be a second generation Mason and a highly competitive field, and to be able to participate and do the things that you've done. And I will tell you, most people think that they understand things like cash flow. They think they can read the definition and say, I understand. They don't. Most people don't really understand. And so you are not alone by yourself, but the fact that you engage, I think you learned a lot in the program, and I think others learned a lot from you too. And that community that you created with the other Scale to Excel members, I think is great. And I'm just as proud of you as I can be. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So Tracy, we'll turn it back to you.
All right. Well, we want to make sure that folks have a chance to ask any questions. I know I've answered several in the chat, and that's perfectly fine. You can keep shooting those to me. I did put the link in the chat to the actual application. But if you're looking for that, that should also be in the email that you got that told you to come today. That is on the Greensboro Chamber website. And I'll also put my email address out there. But before we open it up for questions, there's one more person I want you to introduce you to. And since she was not told that I was going to do this, and she knows I love to do this, so Heavenly Walker's on the call. She can come on camera if she wants to or not, because I didn't warn her. But I'd love for you to know Heavenly's name at the very least. I think she's coming. Maybe she'll at least talk to you a little bit about the Chamber's involvement with the program. But one of the main things that we want to make sure that we offer to participants who go through this program, we want everybody to understand that the Chamber's ultimate goal with this is to continue you through this pipeline to eventually being, scaled to whatever extent you want to be, and really to be out there in existing industry and just doing as much business as you absolutely want to do. And so once you graduate from this program, you're in this program for 7 months. Heavenly comes along the way and actually sets you up with your chamber membership. So all of our graduates have 1 year of chamber membership free. That's at least a $450 value, but you have 1 solid year to really get together with Heavenly and work on connections out in the community, all of the ways that the chamber can promote your business and get you out there. And then you join the alumni of this group. So you're going to get to know Lisa and that entire class that just graduated. You're going to always be part of that alumni group, and you'll be part of the chamber as well. So Heavenly, if you've got anything you want to tell them about the Connections cohort and some of the things that you do, and things that they get to be part of that other folks don't, that would be awesome.
No, no problem. Absolutely. And of course, you did catch me off guard.
Always.
I apologize for not being on camera, guys. But as soon as you said it, I was like, she's going to call on me. I am multitasking because I get my daughter from school. So forgive me for not being on camera right this second. However, going through the Scale to Excel program and then graduating and then rolling into the Connections cohort just as a layer to the bit and the resource of the program, but it gives you an introduction. If you have not already been introduced to the chamber, I know some of you I've seen on the call already are currently members that I work with, but if you have not, if you're not sure about the chamber membership, the benefits provide, I work with you to learn more about your business and I can continue to help provide resources and connect you to whatever.
Oh, poor Heavenly. As soon as I do that to her, she goes out of range. So one of the things that she was going to tell you, though, is that you do have her to your disposal. She works with you on a business development standpoint to help you make those connections. One of the other things that we do,
Okay.
there she goes. Sorry, Heavenly. I know. I didn't warn you. I got it.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Did you want me to keep going or?
I can finish because it's cutting in and out.
I'm probably, yeah, I'm sorry.
I know. If you guys are keeping up.
Anyone that goes through the program.
Yes, she will get to know all of you. She'll get to meet everybody who goes through the program. But one of the things that we've added into is there are several signature events that the chamber puts on that we sell sponsorships to, and those sponsorships allow folks to be there and to network in some of the really big events. So what we have done for the Connections cohort and for those folks who've graduated from the program is that we do provide attendance at those events and special recognitions at those events. One of the ones that we just did in November was we have an event where we introduce all of the CEOs and new C-suite individuals that have come into the area. We have an event to welcome them and expose them to each other and let them get to know each other. And so our Connections cohort is always there and highlighted at that event so that they get to meet those people that own those businesses and run those. They'll be at our annual meeting with free registration and won't have to worry about trying to pay to get into that one to meet 650 of the business leaders in town. So the chamber's always engaged on the other end of this. We always are putting together alumni programming and ways to continue to build on that partnership long beyond graduation. So with that, I will stop, and we would love to hear any questions that anybody has. Feel free to pop them in the chat, or you can just ask us. You can come right off mute.
I see Casey has an important question. I think that makes a difference in matter that I want to talk about. Yes, we do meet virtually. And really that's something I think the first time that it had been done in Interise was this year because of, last year because of COVID. But it happens to be a good model. Now, there will be times where we try to pull everybody together and maybe do something a little bit social, but that will all depend on the COVID recommendations of the state and the county. But we, because we feel like people need to be connected. And when you do your graduation, you'll, as long as the COVID restrictions allow, we're going to do that in person. But outside of that, we do it all on Zoom. So I think most people are familiar with that now. If you are not, we can help you kind of think through the process, but that makes it easy and convenient. And then could you get Tracy, Sherry Abernathy could you answer that question for her?
Yeah, so as far as is the 175,000 a hard number, it definitely is where we try to set the bar for us to get going. Holden, you correct me if I'm wrong. If you're close, I think it's fine to submit the application so that we can see it and so that we have that to consider. So don't let it stop you from submitting. That may be something we follow up with you and we get more information about, because sometimes you're right on the cusp or there's a reason why. I know somebody asked us a question about, the business had been in business for more than 3 years, but they bought it in the last couple of years. So if you've got a question, if you're interested, the one thing I say is if you have interest, submit the application. Let us look at what the class is looking like. Let us look at what we've got going, and we'll ask those questions and follow up with you.
Yeah, I agree with everything Tracy just said. So if you are interested, definitely apply. And we've seen people who don't meet the criteria but do well in the class. And part of the reasons why the criteria is set is because we want to make sure that everyone who is in the class has the mindset ready to grow. And so beyond just these metrics, we're really looking at the mindset part. And so even if somebody does meet the criteria, but their mindset is not ready, unfortunately, they will not be accepted into the program. And so, yeah, if you are interested, definitely apply, and the team will take a look at it and take you to the interview process and let you know what the decision is.
Anybody else? Okay, well, if not, I am going to put my email in the chat really quick before we
Tracy,
go. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I did want to give a quick shout out to Miss Cynthia Barnes. How are you? I see she's on mute.
I did see her name. I did see her name.
I am doing well. Happy New Year to everyone. And as Guilford County, we are a part of the chamber, and Lisa is one that I have followed and helped and done for probably even before she got into business for herself. So I've met her probably maybe 15 years ago, and I will be here as an extra support and supporter of the program. I try to keep up with what all of the businesses that are in the cohort, how they're doing, how they're coming along. If there's ever anything that I can help you do with Guilford County as you're matriculating through this program and through the classes, by all means, don't hesitate to reach out to our office of the MWBE office for Guilford County as well.
Thank you, Cindy, and we appreciate your support so much. All right, well, if you guys don't have any other questions, we have all put our email addresses in the chat. Feel free to reach out for absolutely anything. Get in there, get the application filled out. We will get those interviews set up so we can chat with you one-on-one. But again, just don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you so much for joining us today. And Lisa, thank you for coming on and joining us. It's good to see you. Everybody have a great night.
Thank you, Lisa. I'll be contacting you. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye. Good to see you, Miss Erica.